Hello, dear students. Today we are going to discuss this lesson number 5, that is forms and frames. Like that, forms we are having in our daily lives, in which we fill our entries regarding our personal information and our gender. Like that, forms we can also create these forms in our HTML language also by using certain tags. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss about these forms and frames. A form is a collection of fields of information on a page. It resembles on a paper which user fills the desired information. The various fields of data in the form may contain text boxes, radio buttons, drop-down menus, check boxes, password boxes, and other elements. These elements are called form controls. The simple HTML code contains two elements, the form element and the input element, nested within the form element. The form element sets up an area for a form on a web page. The input element creates various form controls such as button, text box, checkbox, etc. on the form area. Let's discuss working of forms. Let us see how the form transfers from their design phase to the execution phase. HTML elements are used within the form element to create a name of the form controls, as well as the format of their behavior and appearance. An attribute in the form element tells the browser and a web server about the program that will process the form information. The browser displays the form and allows the server to fill it out, collects the data, and send it to the web server. The web server sends the data to CGI, Common Gateway Interface Program, for processing. The CGI program processes the form data and the processed information is sent back to the browser. Now, how to create a form? Every form uses a form element which begins with the form tag and ends with the /form tag. It also includes some unique elements for each control, such as the input element, select element, and text area element. These tags inform the browser that anything specified between them belongs to the form. The syntax for the creating a form will be HTML body, form elements, form body, and HTML. Forms can be divided into three sections, namely form header, input fields, and action buttons. To set up a form, we need to specify two important attributes, that is action and method. First of all, we will discuss action. It usually specifies the file that or a page that form is submitted to. The values could either be a URL to the script or an email address. Method, it is specified the form's information should be posted to the URL given in the action attribute. Possible values are get and post. The get is the default value. It is used whenever we wish to email the form contents. Post, we can make use of this value whenever we want to pass the information to the URL specified in the action attribute. Input elements are the form elements that can accept input from the user. The following are some of the input elements that can be added to a form. These are also called form controls. They include text box, checkbox, radio button, and password box. Besides the above mentioned controls, we can have other elements also on our form, which are buttons, drop down list, combo box, and text area. Input attributes. Input tag is used to create the form input elements. The attributes which can be associated with this tags are type, name, value, size, maximum length. Type. This attribute specifies what kind of form control will be added to the form. The default type for an input element is text. Name. Every control in the form must have a name to identify it. The name attribute specifies the name of an input element. Value. It specifies the initial value for the element. Size. It specifies the width of the input field. Maximum length. It specifies the maximum number of characters for the input field. Adding a text box. A text box allows the user to enter alphanumeric data, that is combination of characters and numbers. We can add a text box to the form in the following way. Syntax: input type is equals to text. Here, form specifies the beginning of the form. Input type is equals to text, indicates that the interface element is a text input field. Name is equals to first name. The first name is the name of the input field or text box. Size 30 specifies the text field is 30 characters wide. By default, the size of the text field is 20. Maximum length specifies the maximum number of characters. Value attribute specify any default text in the input field. Adding a checkbox. A checkbox like a toggle switch which has the user to select or deselect one or more items. As with other form controls, we have to type our label next to the checkbox. Here, type is equals to checkbox indicates that the input form element is a checkbox. Name is equals to C1 specifies the name of the checkbox as C1. Value is equals to graduate specifies the value will be assigned to the checkbox and it is checked at state. Checked, it determines the checkbox should be pre-selected when the web page loads. Adding a radio button. Radio buttons are used when a user has to make a selection of only one options among the several possible options. For example, while asking about the gender of a user, you need to specify two radio buttons, male, female, which belongs to the same group called gender, which a user will be able to either select male or female, but not both the same options. Here, type is equals to radio includes that indicates that the form elements is a radio button. Name is equals to gender specifies the name of the radio group. Values specifies the value of the input element, that is radio button. Checked specifies that the radio button should be pre-selected when the web page loads. Now, adding a password field. A password form control is identical to a text box control, except that whatever the user enters in this field does not get displayed. Instead, dots or asterisks are shown in the screen so that no one can see the typed information. As we have seen many times, whenever we enter password for any of the social ID, what will happen? It will show in the form of stars or dots. It will never display your password directly to you, either or unless you allow the users to see your password. So this input elements is generally used to enter confidential information such as ATM pin or a login password. Adding a drop-down list. A drop-down list displays a list of options from which a user can select an item. The select tag is used to define a selection list in a form. It should be placed within the form tag. The option tag is used along with the select tag to display a list of options. We can use the selected attribute with the option tag to indicate that the choice is pre-selected. The select tag must end with a slash select tag being a container tag. Adding a combo box. A combo box is also a drop-down list which will be the scroll feature added to it. This feature can be added by using the size attribute of the select tag. The value of the size attribute will decide the number of elements to be displayed on the web page. A scroll bar will be added to the list to show that there are no more elements in the list. Let us consider the following example. Here they have written P select your right destination / P. Select name is equals to cities, size equals to 4. Option selected Chandigarh option. Select form /body /html. Observe in the above example, the list contains 9 elements, but only 4 are displayed. Size equals to 4. Also notice that the scroll bar added to the list, while using which you can access more elements to the list. Using multi-select option, using a drop-down list, you can also select only a single element from the list. A selected element will then be displayed in the text box of the list. But what if we want to select more than one option? Well, we can select multiple options from the items displayed in a list by using the entity multiple. The shift or control keys are used to select more than one element from the list. Adding buttons. Once all the details in the form are entered, the data has to be stored somewhere so that it can be reused in the form is also clear to input another set of information. The commonly used predefined buttons are submit and reset. Submit button. By clicking this button, the data in the fields will be sent to a server and a series of name and value pairs, the name being the name of the form element and the value is input value entered by the user. The data is sent to the page specified in the action attribute of the form tag. Reset button. The reset button is used to clear the content and send the values of all the form elements to their initial state and make them active. Adding a multi-line text field. In some instances, it might be necessary to accept several lines of text from the user. In such a case, we need to use the text area tag. It must include a name attribute, and you must also specify the number of rows and columns with the help of rows and columns attributes. The rows and columns determine the size of the text area control. A user can type text within the field text area on the screen. We must close this control with text area closing tag. Application areas of form. These application areas of form on the World Wide Web are continuously evolving. Listed below some of the application areas of forms where forms are used: educational sites, online shopping, online feedback forms, and providing the interface for a chat session. So these are the application areas of forms. Now let us discuss an overview of frames in HTML. Frames allows multiple HTML documents to be presented as independent window within one browser window. It gives greater flexibility to design and maintain the site than merely dumping everything onto one page. We can create the navigation menu in one frame which will remain static and always available, and the other frame may be used to display the content part. A collection of frames in the browser window is known as frame set. Creating frame set and frames. To create a frame set document, you need the frame set tag. A frame set document has a head element and a frame set element. Each frame set element contains one or more frame elements, and each frame element in turn holds a separate file. Frame element make a use of src attribute defined within HTML document to be displayed in a frame. The frame set element uses a couple of attributes, rows and columns, that defines the layout of the frame and indicate the amount of screen area that each row or column will occupy. As you can see, a diagram they have given on page 155. In this kind of overview, you might have seen many of the websites in which if you click on this education button, then what will happen? It will give the detail of all the education related activities. Similarly, if you click on activities, homework, so it will provide you with the descriptive form of activities and homework. As you have many of you are opened working with the eCare app. So what will happen whenever we open an eCare app, there are certain panel display on the left side of the website, on the eCare website. So this is a frame set in which whenever we click on the questionnaire, you will provide a questionnaire of the provided by the eCare. If you want to see notices, then if you click on notice, it will provide you with all the notices that are coming inside eCare app. So this is frame set and frames.